Degam Sri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Ragunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we successfully finished the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness, yesterday. So today we are going to start 14th chapter, the three modes of material nature. So this is the topic. This is a very important subject which we are almost every day we are talking about this. In the third chapter itself, Krishna, in the third chapter, sloka number 5, Krishna said about these three modes of material nature. Gunaihi. So Krishna said the gunas. So gunas means the three modes of nature. In the second chapter also, we understood to certain extent, Krishna told Arjuna that in one sloka, Traigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavo Arjuna. So there itself we know that about the three modes of material nature. In the middle of the second chapter, when Krishna is teaching Arjuna, Krishna was teaching Arjuna about the Buddhi Yoga, that is Karma Yoga, how to act with intelligence. At that point of time, so Krishna told Arjuna that Traigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavo Arjuna. So the Vedas deal with three modes of material nature. You become yourself free from these three modes of material nature. Nirdvandvo nitya sattvastu niryoga kshema atmava. So nirdvandvo, free yourself from the dualities. Nirdvandvo. Nitya sattvastu, so be always seated in yourself. Nitya sattvastu. Niryoga kshema atmavan. Niryoga kshema. So niryoga kshema means don't go after material benefits. It will come to us. Don't be attached to the results. That's what niryoga kshema. When we do an activity, when we do anything, we should not be worried about the results. That's the main thing. That's what niryoga kshema. Atmavan means be situated in the self. So we should not be after material sense objects. We should not be after the results of our activities. Whatever we need, it will come to us. Krishna will take care. That's what is very important. So our life should be designed that way only. Then we will be able to lead a peaceful and blissful life if we are not after material results. If we are not affected by the results of the activities, then we will be able to lead a peaceful and blissful life. That's what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita. So always Krishna is teaching repeatedly in many chapters, different slokas. Krishna is teaching us that never be attached to the results of the activities. Because that attachment to the results only are binding us. Those attachments to the results are binding us to this material world. That is the only thing which is binding us to this material world. Our bondage to this material world is only because of our attachments to the results. That's it. If you are not affected by the results, that means if you are not attached to the results, then we won't be bound to this material world. We won't be entangled in this material world. So that concept, that science Krishna is teaching us very, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So we all have to act. Nobody can stop acting. So that's why in the third chapter, the fifth sloka, when Krishna is teaching us about the gunas, they are actually very forceful. They are very forceful and they are making us to act. That's why Krishna said that not even a single moment one can refrain from doing something. Everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature. So not even a single moment one can refrain from doing something. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. So that means we are all forced to act. We are all forced to work. So we are not free at all. Because these three modes of material nature are forcing us. The main reason is that because we are attached to the results. Having ourselves, the material body itself is a proof that we are controlled by the three modes of material nature. There is no other proof required. If we are inside this material body, so that means we are controlled by the modes of nature only. That's why we got this material body. Now, we have to use this body to free ourselves from the three modes of nature. We need to use this body to free ourselves from the three modes of material nature. So mind, as I was explaining, mind is the sense, it is the chief sense, mind, with which we can actually perceive the soul. We can actually realize the soul. With other senses, we cannot see the soul. We cannot realize or we cannot understand about the soul. But with mind, it is possible. So, by connecting our mind with the super soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, by fixing our mind on Krishna, that is very much possible. Practically, it's very much possible. It is a scientific process, practical process. Everyone has to experiment it. Everyone can focus their mind on Krishna. Just to sit straight and think where our mind is going. Just analyze where our mind is going. Our mind is not in one place at all. All the time the mind goes here and there. It's always going everywhere. So the mind always thinks about something. Always. We think about some material sense object or something, some material relationship, some attachments to this material world. So if we carefully analyze in a given day, in 24 hours in a day, so even while sleeping also, when we get dreams also, our mind is very active. So the dream, at the time of our dream, which happens in the REM sleep, that is known as REM sleep, rapid eye movement. So during that time, our brain is actually very, very active. The neurons in our brain, they are firing very fast at that point of time. They are very active. Only the motor nervous system is actually, they are deactivated. So, but the brain is very active. So that means our mind is also very active. So our mind is actually going all the time here and there. Our mind. So it doesn't stop in one place at all. So when we are able to focus that mind only on Krishna, not anywhere else, only on Krishna only, all the time, 24/7, without any deviation. Krishna is using the word Ananya many times in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya. Avyabhicharyana also Krishna is using, but the word Ananya. Ananya chetaga satatam, Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananya means without any deviation. That means not having a second thing. That's what Ananya. Only one thing, that is Krishna, only one. Ananya means not having a second one. So that way, if our mind is focused only on Krishna, only thinking about Krishna, not about anything else in this material world, then we will be able to achieve peace of mind, happiness, and then we can realize the soul. We can actually free ourselves from this material bondage. So that is the activity, that is the effort we need to put every day to focus our mind on only Krishna, nothing else. That should be the goal of everyone's life. If our goal is only to fix on Krishna, our mind, not on anything else, so then we are very happy. Because we are not affected by anything in this material world. We are not disturbed by anything in this material world. We are not attached to any results in this material world. So totally we will be able to, so that means completely we will be able to disconnect from this material world. So that scientific process Krishna is teaching us in this Bhagavad Gita, with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we realize that we are the soul, we are not the body. This body is made up of matter. Of course, from the food what we eat, it's mainly carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. So these are the main three things what our body needs. Of course, vitamins, minerals, and all such things are also needed, definitely. So, but our body needs, it's made up of this matter. From carbohydrate, we get energy. So, all other things are also needed for this body, like fat is needed, and then proteins are needed. So without proteins and no cellular mechanisms, no other functions will happen. The proteins actually, in fact, in our genes, they are, the codes are, they're encoded, the genes, they code like how to create proteins. So that's what it happens. So even this coronavirus also, there is the proteins. So basically, we need to understand that our body, which is made up of matter, and it is designed to work, it is designed to grow and produce some byproducts and then dwindle and then vanish. It comes into existence and grows and stays for some time and produces some byproducts and then dwindles and then vanishes. So that's what happens to our body. That means before we come to this world, so before we are conceived, in the mother's womb as an embryo, so just a single cell. So before that, so this body itself was not there at all. So then that body starts splitting, growing, and then our brain forms, heart forms, lot of other things in all the organs in our body, they are forming. And then we get delivered in this way, then we grow and then become old, and we stay for some time and produce offsprings, and then we gradually get very old, and again our body, all the senses will become very weak. So then slowly all the functioning of our organs will be stopping slowly, and we will die. But for some people, even it won't go through this natural cycle. So when we get disease, so janma mrityu jara vyadi, age we can get disease. So our body needs all these things to survive in this body. So now we are actually fighting for oxygen. So our body needs oxygen. So our body needs food. So Krishna is saying that I digest the food. Pachami annam chaturvidam. Prana panav samau kritva. I maintain the balance between the outgoing and incoming air. So Krishna is controlling our breathing process. Krishna is controlling our digestion. Krishna is doing all these things in our body. So that way we are actually able to live, we are able to act, we are able to get the energy to do our activities and all these things. So when the reality is like this, when the reality is that we are in this temporary, miserable life in this body, temporary body, but we just forget. We forget that our existence in this world itself is temporary. We completely forget. We forget that we are getting old. We forget that we will die. And any time, any point of time, anything can happen to anyone. Our body can stop working at any point of time. We forget that reality. That is complete foolishness. And then we get ourselves attached to a lot of other things in this material world with which we are not going to be with them forever. Whatever we are gaining in this world, we are going to leave one day. We are not going to have with us all the time. Anything we gain in this world, even if we work hard, if we do a lot of work, if we get very great medals and certificates and whatnot, whatever, anything you get, a lot of shares and all kinds of movable and immovable assets and everything. Everything will be here. They are also temporary, but they are here temporary, but they are here for very long time. They are here for billions of years. This earth is about 3.2 billion years old now. So our solar system is. So, but we are not going to be here. We are going to die. We are going to lose everything. We are going to leave everything. So that is the fact. So we need to realize this fact and understand that everything in this world, all our materialistic achievements, everything is temporary. Nothing is going to be permanent. So with that understanding, with that knowledge, if we act every day, so then we are actually doing things in the right direction. With that understanding, with that thinking, remembering that we are going to die, remembering that we are going to leave everything, remembering that this life here itself is temporary, nothing is permanent. So remembering and realizing and understanding that our relationship with Krishna only is permanent, and Krishna only is all the time with us as Paramatma, as super soul, and Krishna is never leaving us. So that way, realizing this fact, if we establish our connection with Krishna, and all the time if we remember Krishna, and anything we do only in connection with Krishna, so then actually we are doing something which makes permanent effect for our soul. So that gain, whatever we are going to gain, so that's a spiritual gain. That spiritual gain is going to stay permanently with us. Because in the 6th chapter, we already studied at length. Whatever we gain, we will get it in the next life. Purvabhyasena tenaiva kriyate avasopi saga jijnasurapi yogasya sabda brahma ativartade. So, tatratam buddhi samyogam labate paurvadehikam. So, whatever buddhi, whatever yogam, whatever intelligence, whatever we gain, tatratam buddhi samyogam labate paurvadehikam. So, in our previous body, so that means right now in this body, so whatever progress we make, whatever spiritual gains we make, so that is going to stay with us. We are not going to lose it. That is a permanent gain. Because that gain is for the soul with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So when we do anything for the soul, that is going to be with us forever. We are not going to lose it. But if we do anything for our body, so that's all temporary. Because this body itself, we are losing it. So then we are going to lose everything in this world. So that way, then that's why we need to perform this yajna. That means performing everything for Krishna, doing everything for Krishna. Jnana yajna. For example, we are studying this Bhagavad Gita. Every day we are studying this Bhagavad Gita. We are very committed. So we are studying. So this is a great progress. This is a very, very like unique like progress, actually, unique growth what we are getting it. This is going to stay with us. This is actually taking us towards Krishna. We are getting ourselves closer to Krishna day by day. So that's what is happening with us when we are actually connected with this Bhagavad Gita. By Krishna's mercy, we will go to Goloka. There is no doubt about it. So that's why we need to understand this fact very well, and we need to stop doing all kinds of temporary materialistic activities and focus and spend our time wisely and doing everything only for Krishna, and especially to spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to make many devotees so that they don't come back again to this material world. We should not come back, and we don't want anyone to come back and struggle and suffer in this material world. We need to save them. So that's why spreading this Bhagavad Gita message is very, very, very important. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we successfully finished the 35 slokas in the 13th chapter. That means we finished the 13th chapter. So now we are starting the 14th chapter. So that is the 3 modes of material nature. So Krishna is teaching in this 14th chapter, first sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Param Bhuyaga Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam Yajnatva Munayaga Sarve Param Siddhim Nito Gataha. Param Bhuyaga Pravakshyami. I am teaching you again the supreme Param, Param, the supreme words, the supreme knowledge. Jnananam jnanam uttamam. The knowledge which is the topmost of all knowledge. That's what jnananam jnanam uttamam. Of all knowledge, jnananam, the topmost knowledge, the ultimate knowledge, the supreme knowledge, jnanam uttamam. I'm explaining to you. I'm teaching to you. So again, I'm teaching you the most confidential knowledge. In the 9th chapter, first sloka, Krishna said that, idam tude guhyatamam pravakshyami. So there he said that guhyatamam pravakshyami. Guhyatamam means the most confidential knowledge. So then in the 10th chapter, Krishna said that Bhuya eva mahabahu sunume paramam vachaga yattegam priyamanaya vakshyami kitakamya. So you again hear from me, Bhuya eva mahabahu. So that's Bhuya. This word Bhuya, what Krishna is using here in this chapter, 14th chapter, first sloka. In the 10th chapter also, first sloka, the very first word itself, Bhuya. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Bhuya eva mahabahu sunume paramam vachaga. So there also Krishna used the word paramam, param. So here, param bhuyaga pravakshyami jnananam jnanam uttamam. Yajnatva munayaga sarve param siddhim itho gataga. So by knowing this, yajnatva, by knowing this, yajnatva, many places we studied about yajnatva. So Krishna said yajnatva. So yajnatva mukshase ashubhat. Yajnatva nega bhuyo annadi jnatavyam avasisyate. So yajnatva mokshase asubhat means by knowing this knowledge, you will be freed from all miseries of material existence. Then yajnatva nega bhuyo annadi jnatavyam avasisyate means by knowing this knowledge, there is nothing else is there for you to know. So here Krishna is saying that yajnatva munayaga sarve, by knowing this, rishis in the past, the sages, the munayaga, the sages in the past, param siddhim ito gataha. So they have achieved the supreme destination. So that's what they have attained the supreme perfection. Param siddhim ito gataha. That means they all went to Krishna. So they've gone back to Goloka. So that's what param siddhim ito gataha. So that's what is going to happen. If you study this Bhagavad Gita, if you understand this Bhagavad Gita, we are actually going to go to Krishna. That's what is very, very important. We are going to go to Goloka. Param siddhim ito gataha. So param bhuyaga pravakshami jnananam jnanam uttamam yajnatva munayas sarve param siddhim ito gataha. So that's what Krishna is teaching us. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, by getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so we will also achieve the supreme perfection. So there is supreme destination. So there is Param Gatim. So there is Krishna's well. So Param Siddhim is the supreme perfection. So there is Param Gatim. That is the supreme destination. There is Krishna's well. So we will all go to Krishna's well. There is no doubt. All of us are going to go to Krishna. There is no doubt. Because we are actually studying Bhagavad Gita. Because we are able to surrender ourselves unto Krishna. Hare Krishna. By Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the very first sloka in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much.